Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word. Shalom to the Akwat Yim, believers of His faith and His truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent, virtuous wife. And as a whole, Lord willing, that y'all continue in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. And Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right? This is quick, straight to the point, history information, especially dealing with slavery. The elder apostle and the bishop, they doing a Tuesday live, and I just wanted to get information. So I asked ChatGPT real quick, which anybody that's watching this, you can even go and to do a Google search and get even more information in the Wikipedia. You got books on it, but let's just dissect what ChatGPT says and let's get this information, because the point was that Israelites was cargo, in that if we got sick, we died, we fell off the ship or got pushed off the ship, that they would get assurance, that they would claim insurance off of us. And then that just had me pissed off in the mind frame of a lot of people don't know a lot of insurance, car insurance, health insurance, all of that money that they reap for these organizations, or the thought process, it all stems back in slavery, from slavery. So even when Jake say slavery was done for 400 years ago, you're talking about the physical aspect of getting beaten, whipped. Slavery is not done, especially if you're not bringing out prophecies, you err not knowing the scriptures. So you even have where we're being enslaved financially, mentally, which with this technology and social media, right? And you got other ways of how they're manipulating us. And especially we get even manipulated with information, right? Insurance is right in front of you, right? They reap benefits off of insurance, right? The cotton that's on your clothes and your car, all of that was benefited off of slavery. Especially when you look at the Rothschild, a lot of their mega wealth stems from the cotton industry and slavery. Just like when you smoking cigarettes, that was backed by what happened back then in slavery to make this corporation. Everything advanced from what it was back then, right? But hey, don't take my word for it. Lord willing, you get to look it up, and Lord willing, you could dissect what we're about to see. Let's get into it. So I asked ChatGPT, did the whites get insurance for dead blacks on the transatlantic slave trade? It said yes. During the transatlantic slave trade, white slave traders and ship owners did take out insurance policies on enslaved Africans, even though the Israelites are not African, right? It says, however, this wasn't insurance to protect or benefit the enslaved people. It was to protect the financial interest of the slave traders in case the enslaved Africans died. These were Israelites, were lost or thrown overboard during the voyage. Key facts: enslaved Africans were considered cargo. Slave ships treated human beings as property and cargo. Insurance policies were written the same way they were for goods like sugar and tobacco. Insurance covered losses of slaves. If slaves died due to sickness, rebellion, or were thrown overboard, e.g. due to lack of water, slave owners could claim insurance money for financial compensation. Famous cage, the Zong Massacre, 1781, go look it up. British slave ships, Zong threw over 130 enslaved Africans overboard, Israelites. The ship owners filed an insurance claim for the loss, saying it was necessary to save the rest of the cargo. The case went to court in Britain, not as a murder trial, but as a property insurance dispute. That is crazy. Major insurance companies were involved. Many early insurance firms, including some that still exist today, like Lloyd's of London, profited directly from slave insurance policies. Some American insurance companies, like Aetna, Lord willing is saying and pronouncing it right, later admitted to insuring enslaved people. The summary is, yes, white slave traders insured enslaved black people as cargo during the transatlantic slave trade, not out of care, but to protect their profit. If the enslaved died and were lost, it is one of many wicked financial systems built on slavery, right? And of course, it's saying if you want precepts or scriptures on this wickedness, I can prove them too. But another thing, if Jake say 400 years is done with, why you never ask, sit in the question, if it's done, why they never gave up the land? Like right now, Donald Trump is trying to move Haitians from America, move natives from America. How you gonna move them if they was here first? Jake is always worried about how us or black, Latinos, natives speak about slavery still. But you got Esau promoting Thanksgiving when Thanksgiving was a celebration of the massacre of the natives.
Those were all nothing more than goddamn so-called Jews.
That's right.
No matter how you slice
Amalek.
It was Amalek. It was Amalek that was in Portugal. Amalek in Spain. It was Amalek that called themselves French. It was Amalek that called themselves Dutch.
Spreading mischief
Spreading nothing but mischief.
and wickedness.
That's what they were. The Dutch East India Company, which is the first corporation ever created, those were those are Amalekites that were calling themselves Dutch.
And the flag, the correct me if I'm wrong, the flag is the same, resembles the same as the American flag. You can't make this shit up,
You
man.
can't make it up.
Anyway,
They set up the first corporation, and then they also set up one of not only the first corporation, but one of the first, if you want to call it, Ponzi schemes, which is the insurance game. The insurance game started off of that.
Yeah.
It started off, number one, they were carting Jake over here from Portugal, Spain, West Africa, bringing them over here to the Americas.
Yeah.
But then they also had insurance policies on them, so if they had a cargo of 250 slaves and 50 slaves died, they get credit for the 50 slaves that died.
As a matter of fact,
Insurance.
You mentioned insurance companies. There's some information. If you Google it, 15 insurance companies that got started by slavery.
15 insurance companies
That got started by slavery. One of them is Aetna. Like you remember the commercial?
Mhm.
Aetna, I'm glad I met you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Matter of fact, he's looking it up now. 15 insurance companies that were started by slavery. Okay, and they're still around. Well, the majority of them are still around to this day. Because those slaves were also insured. What the heck is that? It says continue.
No, not interested.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're looking at it on screen. I'll read it.
Yep.
It says some prominent insurance companies have been identified as having connections to the institution of slavery. Slavery of who? Our people. Our forefathers, man. Primarily through the practice of insuring insurance policies to slave owners to cover their financial losses in the event of an enslaved person's death. Something you want to say on that, bro?
No, go right ahead. I'm just
Okay. While the number of companies directly started by slavery, that's what we're looking for.
There we go.
Directly started
by slavery. That's where they made their longest money. Their longest money goes to slavery. What do you think even these banking institutions, like an Oppenheimer fund? The Oppenheimers are one of the biggest slave owners. Come and get an Oppenheimer fund. Oppenheimer, Citibank, which Citibank don't exist no more, but all of these different banks, what do you think they made their longest green from? Where do you think their startup money came from?
No. Jake never asked that.
Nope.
Well, that's why the Lord said about Jake, they soddish children.
Soddish children. Stupid.
It says, while the number of companies directly started by slavery might be, hold on, what are they trying to say over here? While the number of companies directly started by slavery might be difficult to pinpoint precisely. Yeah, if you hide the information.
Right, if you're hiding it.
Yeah, it'll be difficult. If you got the information, it's easy.
Yep.
Come on, man. See, that's that AI, or they got to make, they're ashamed of this history here.
Yep.
They're ashamed of it. It says, here, nevertheless, here are some insurance companies that have been linked to profiting from and having ties to slavery. By the way, if you want to see this information we're reading, if you got your phone in front of you, you got your computer, whatever, type in 15 insurance companies that were started by slavery. You'll see the same information we're reading. All right, so it's not like this is hidden information.
Nope, it's out there.
It's out there. You just got to know what to look for. So here they give you the list of companies. New York, I'll just read the company. I'm not even going to go into, just read the highlights. New York Life Insurance Company. Right?
1846, 1848.
Look at that.
That was during around slavery.
Enslaved people between 1846 sold policies. It says sold policies on the lives of enslaved people. I wonder who those people are.
Yeah.
Between 1846 and 1848. They have publicly acknowledged and apologized for this period of their history. Oh, they apologized. So it makes it all better. Right? It says
What's up with compensation?
they ceased selling such policies in 1848 due to public pressure. The abolition, which, you could look into that and find that to be nonsense. Well, when you're making all kinds of money,
Right.
it becomes addictive. You want to make more money.
That's right.
If you make $2 million or $2 billion, you want to make $4 billion. That's how it is, man.